Another match in the 430, platoon with Hardest 121 and Viet Campers Waffenträger 800. It's on the recently added map Hidden Village. I really can't say I'm a fan of this map at all. It just doesn't play very well. This position here, this little hill, this rock, this rock, this rock. There's like a triangle of useful positions heavy tanks and TDs can go to. Everywhere else is useless. Quite often mediums end up going there as well. This whole town here, there's generally no point going there because most of the buildings are destructible. There's not a whole lot of arty cover if there's arty in the match, which in this case I'm lucky there's not. It's just not a good position. I gather it's meant to be a flanking route, but that only kind of works where there's no arty and the buildings don't get shot out. So you can see me hesitate for a moment there, and then I decided to just ford the river and get into the town. I decided to try something new and just go wide through the village. The problem down here is the village doesn't have real good shots on the tanks and up in the hills unless they drive into specific spots, which in this match they did, which is quite nice of them. But yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence about the effectiveness of even bringing a medium into the village. It's a very pretty map. That's my problem with wargaming. They make very, very, very beautiful looking maps that look like they should be in a Pixar movie. Unfortunately, most of them play like shit. This, Northwest being prime examples. Some of the others actually do play well, but a large chunk of the maps look pretty, but absolutely play like garbage. Or they're just, you know, uninteresting to fight on, even if they're not bad per se. They're boring. So I got lit there. Don't want any of that shit. I know there's big stuff up there. Lots of TDs in this match, so I want to get unspotted. Pulling all the way back just to make sure. And I decide to take a cut through here and get a bit deeper into the town. You can see the absolute tiny size of this tank compared to some of these houses. The Object 430 is minuscule. Unaimed snapshot there, very, very, very bad on my part. Cost me some damage on that guy, but he did die anyway at least. I haven't learned my lesson and snapshot that chat, but at least I 0 damage tracked him or something. I assume so because he stopped moving right after I hit him. Fire a blind shot just in case. JP's up. I want him dead in a hurry. He's already on fire, but he's behind a building. I try and reduce his cover down, but I think that house is indestructible or something. So, as you can see, there's not wall segments breaking where I'm shooting. I decide, oh, fuck your shit, JP 100. I'll shoot the guys up in the hills instead, to my southwest. So I just roll out across the open field. Now, the Object 430 can get away with this shit because it has ridiculously good camo. The 416 would also be able to do this. I wouldn't recommend it in, say, a Patton or a Centurion. You'd get spotted. Not by these guys, because they're on the edge of spotting range, but rather by things sort of closer in base. In fact, I'm actually lucky here that the enemy team aren't putting any kind of scouting into the town, or I may even have been spotted anyway despite my excellent camera. So you can see it over here in the town. It's kind of just a leisurely outing where we drive around and spend time under the shady trees and shoot tanks. Very relaxed. They're not shooting back at us because they probably don't even realize we're here. They're all completely tunnel visioned on the tanks up there with them. Pumping a couple blind shots into this tree line just to try and either hit the FV or scare him into moving, revealing himself. But then I get this thing pop up, which is a good target to shoot at. As you can see, I'm kind of impatient with the aim time on my Soviet mediums. Probably need to do something about that. The 62 and the 140 you can get away with a lot better because first of all they have much smaller aim bloom, so they're already better aimed from movement. The other issue is they have higher DPM, so your reload's not as long. This thing has like 2500, 2600 DPM and much worse bloom. It's kind of bad on movement, it's terrible on turret movement. I think only the Batchat has higher turret bloom of the medium tanks at tier 10. Which is bizarre, because this thing was, after all, the one of the early prototypes that led to the T64, and the T64 had pretty fucking good fire control. Best of its era, from what I recall. So I'm just trying to clean up these TDs. See that shot fuck me there with RNG. This is also one of those games where I actually do enough shooting to nearly run myself out of APCR. Well, in fact, I did run myself out of APCR. So I'm down to my heat shells and HE now. I do carry 4 HE in this thing. It's useful for, like, if I need to get a reset and I don't trust heat or APCR to do the job. Like, if I only have the most fucked up shot imaginable. But more now, it's useful against Waffenträgers. So there, I mean, if you can afford the ammo capacity, there's almost a reason to start bringing HE again in higher tier tanks. Just to deal with these stupid fucking German tank destroyers, but even then I find I don't often switch ammo to HE unless I know I'm going to be going in and engaging, and in this case you can see I don't do it because I don't know which way he's pointing. If he's looking my way and I accidentally snapshot and hit his hull, then, you know, I'd rather have a heat shell up than an HE, or yeah, an HE shell. Kind of worried at this point as well. Like, you'll see I'm not just derping straight in, because even though one of the Waffenträgers is 96 health and the other one's pretty low, these guys could still kill our entire team if they played well. See, that's the first damaging shot I've taken all match. In fact, I think it's the first hit I've taken, I can't recall. Managed to pop him, and I'm just about to work around for his friend when E4 decides he's had enough of his shit and drives in instead. Not a bad match, not brilliant. Mostly I made this video, I mean, just to demonstrate if you can get into town without running into a bunch of enemy tanks or without getting scouted, you can do a lot of work. But the problem is, if they put tanks into town, then it just becomes a quagmire and you get fired on from the hills, and it's, I don't know, I don't like this map. I'm not sure how you could rebalance it either. I mean, maybe if you put the town on a hill as well, like a downward sloping hill, so it's screened from the top of them. Like I said, I don't know. I'm really not a fan of Wargaming's map design. They're trying to condense everything into, say, 3 or 4 routes. It's like fucking Dota, and Dota doesn't work with tanks. What they really need is some more steps, really. Steps is decent. It's probably one of the few maps I actually like. And more city maps. City maps are always good. But the new map, fucking, I don't even remember what it's called. Windstorm, I think. Looks really, really good, so I'm pretty excited for that at least.